We live. We live, baby. All right. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Wa sallallahu ala sayyidina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa sallam. رضي الله تعالى عنه وسائر التابعين وعلماء أملين وآئمة أربع مجتهدين ومقلديهم إلى يوم الدين أما بعد السلام عليكم ورحمة الله تعالى وبركاته. So we're continuing with the seerah of the Prophet ﷺ about the life of the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ. We talked about a lot of things over the last three classes. All right. Who remember what the Prophet ﷺ's mother's name was? Come over closer, man. Get the bottom. I promise you, it's never rewarding. Amina, right? What was his father's name?
Abdullahi.
Abdullah. Good, good, good. How old was he when he died?
Who?
The Prophet ﷺ.
Oh, when the Prophet said
Oh,
something?
Pops was saying when he died.
Yeah.
60.
Close. You was 60, you in the ballpark. How old was Bear? Oh,
60 something.
60 something. 62, you close. You hot. Well, you inspired. 63, now. How old was the Prophet ﷺ when he married Khadija? His wife. That was his first wife. His very first marriage was to Khadija radiallahu ta'ala anha. He's 25. He's 25. What was one of his names that he was known for before he became a prophet?
Amir.
Al-Amin. Truthful. Okay. All right. Somebody's like on point, Seerah. I need love. All right. So we're gonna talk about the description of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Hey, young. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, his description, he wasn't neither tall nor was he short. He was medium height. He wasn't real white. He wasn't extremely white. Nor was he too dark. He was in the middle. They say that the closest description of like pigmentation is like a like an olive, like brown tannish type of color.
Paper bag.
Paper bag.
Yeah, paper bag.
I heard it all. Some people even said Puerto Rican color. That was that was one brother was teaching Seerah. He said that Prophet like the Puerto Rican color. That's a good word.
Hey, what about their great grandma? She's blacker than me.
It said his hair was neither curly nor was it completely straight.
Get off your stomach.
When he passed away, the number of white hairs he had on his head did not reach 20. All right. That was something that I thought I was going to be able to do in life. But if you look now, I'm way past 20. I thought I'd be able to do it once in life, you know. We got all these theories, yo, if you minimize your stress and all that. Bottom line, you ain't got no control over whether your hair gonna be white or whatever. There's children that are born with gray hair, whether it be a patch or whether it be the whole head gray. And also, as Allah Ta'ala mentioned, that's gonna be one of the signs of for one of the descriptions of children on the Qiyamah. The mother will give birth to that child. That child have a head full of white hair, out of the stress. But anyway, his white on his hair didn't reach more than 20. He had a good stature. He was balanced and he had broad shoulders. His hair would reach his shoulders sometimes. I mean, reach his shoulders and sometimes to his earlobe. Other times it would reach halfway down to his ears. He had a thick, full beard, and his hands were fine. I mean, his fingers were thick. They weren't skinny. He had thick fingers. He had a large head and bones. His face was slightly round, and he had jet black eyes with speckles of red in the edges, with long lashes. That's rather unique to have black, black dark eyes. You know, it's a rather unique color. He had fine hair extending from. He had chest hair that extended from his chest to his navel. When he walked briskly, kind of fast, and it was like as if he was going down a slope. Now, I would demonstrate it how Sheikh Muhammad Yaqubi, showed us how the Prophet ﷺ walked. It was more like a brisk walk, and I know the camera ain't gonna be able to catch it, so you don't see it too bad. Sorry. Ugh. But the way they said the Prophet ﷺ walked, right, was like a straight line, and it was just like straight, right? And it was brisk. It wasn't no bop. We got the no Philly stroll and all that stuff. It wasn't none of that. It was a straight, straight. Matter of fact, if you walk like that now, and people see you walking their way, they think you're gonna do something to them. Be honest with you, it was so brisk. And it was a straight walk that the Prophet ﷺ did. His face would shine almost like the light from the moon when it was full, and it was as if it was the moon itself. His face shined. He had a light that nur. And oftentimes when you follow his sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ, you get some of that light. When you become disobedient to Allah Ta'ala and abandon the prayer, abandon the sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ, you get a dark tint to your face. He had a nice voice. He was a sociable person, and he was good nurtured. He had a wide hold on. He had a wide wait, I just lost my whole place. He had a wide mouth, and his chest and stomach were even. They were level. Right? He didn't have a big belly like we got the big balloon pop belly. It was all even. He had hair on his shoulders, his forearms, and his upper chest. His wrists were thick, and he had wide palms. His eyes were wide set. He had thick heels. And between his shoulder blades was the mark, the seal of the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, that resembled like a tassel on a curtain canopy, or like a pigeon egg. And when he walked, it was as the earth had gathered together for him, and those with him had to hurry in order to keep up with him, because he walked, the way he walked, and he was unmindful of them. So whenever he walked, he gained a lot of ground, right? Wasn't no short steps, no baby steps, wasn't no long leaps, but he gained a lot of ground. And you notice how they said it seemed like the ground came together for him, right? When he walked, like the earth shrunk in order to make his distance shorter. He used to let his hair hang freely. Then later, at the latter part, he will put it up, right? He will comb it, and then the hair of his beard. He will put what we know is like cool on his eyes before he went to sleep every night when he slept. The most beloved garment to the Prophet ﷺ was a qamis, a white garment. And there's this other garment called uh, babara. Babara, I think that's the way you say it, which is a type of thick outer garment with red in it. in the sleeve of the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, his shirt was extended to his wrist. So he, his sleeves went to his wrist. Now, all these descriptions play a part because we want to follow the Sunnah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam to the T, right? Although you're not occurring sin by not dressing like this unless you literally intend to abandon the sunnah, but you ain't getting no reward for the clothes that you put on either when they don't resemble the dress after that of the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So you want to try to make sure that you wear more of the attire that is in line with the sunnah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam versus always dressing and wearing what everyone else dress, right? Nico, move to the side if you're gonna play with that. I don't care if you're playing with it. It's like right there is just distracting me. So they said one time he wore two red garments. Sometimes he would wear an izar and an upper garment, like a wrap, right? In order to cover them shoulders. And the izar was the cover from the navel down, right? And he had a wrap that went across. It's similar to the garments that you wear on Hajj. If you want to get an idea, take your phone or your tablet and Google the clothes you wear on Hajj, and then a picture of it should come up. One time he wore a black turban, letting the two ends of the turban hang between his shoulders. Another time he wore a mirt made of hair, this being like a type of garment. He also will wear a ring. He will wear khufs, leather socks, and he will wear sandals. The children of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he had three sons: Qasim, Abdullah, and Ibrahim. Qasim, his nickname was the name that you would call the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, his kunya. You would call him Abu Qasim, right? You're normally the father is normally given his name. It's like an honorable title, right? Your kunya is your oldest male child, right? So my kunya would be what? Who's my oldest child, male child? It's Muhammad, right? So I'll be called what? What would y'all call me? No. Well, yeah. But I'm talking about my kunya. What would my kunya be? No. It'd be Abu Muhammad.
Yeah.
Abu Muhammad, your oldest male child, so you'd be called by that kunya. If your mother's oldest male child, what would your mother's kunya be? You'll be Hune, who would you be? Like Munir, that's what. What would your mother's name? What would your mother kind of kunya be? Sufyan. So, and it was also a way of honoring people. So if you know that there's an elder amongst you, you know, it's sort of like, how when we're talking to elders, some of you little kids ain't got no respect though. Y'all will call, your elder brother so and so, right? You be like, oh, or that's Sheikh, that's Sheikh Muhammad right there, or that's Imam Muhammad, right? Right? That's how you refer to him. Or what's more honorific, more honorable, is to refer to them by their oldest, male child name, if they have a male child, right? So yeah, Qasim, and Qasim was born before he was a prophet, and he died 2 years. He died when he was 2 years old. Qasim did. The Prophet ﷺ's second son was Abdullah. He was also known as Tayyib and Tahir because he was born to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam after he received revelation. Tayyib and Tahir was other than Allah, Abdullah. No, so that name belonged to them. So Tayyib and Tahir belonged to Abdullah. Oh, my man Zubair. Yeah, his name's Zubair too. Nah. I already know about you. You ain't get my devices, bro. You might as well go ahead back over there. You might as well go ahead back over there, buddy. But anyway, so the third child is Ibrahim. And Ibrahim died in the 10th year of Hijrah at the age of 17 months or 18 months. So all three of the sons of the Prophet ﷺ died and didn't really reach past the age of 2. He had 4 daughters. His first daughter name was Zainab, right? Don't let him go outside. His first daughter name was Zainab. He married his daughter Zainab off to Abul As ibn Rabi' ibn Abdul Uzza ibn Abdul Shams, who was the son of her maternal aunt. So they were cousins. His mother was Halla bint Khuwaylid. The second daughter was Fatima, and he married her to Ali ibn Abi Talib, karamallahu wajh radiyallahu ta'ala anhu. His third daughter name was Ruqayya. His fourth daughter name was Kulthum, and he married both of these daughters to Uthman. First was Ruqayya, and then Kulthum, and they both passed away while they were married to him. So Ruqayya married Uthman ibn Affan first, and then Kulthum married him second, and they both died while they were married to him. They weren't married to him at the same time, because you can't marry 2 sisters at the same time, right? However, he married Ruqayya first. Ruqayya passed away. Then he married Kulthum, and Kulthum passed away. This is why they call the nickname for Uthman was Dhul Nurain. He was the possessor of 2 lights. That was his nickname, right? It wasn't little guap, little wheezy, and all that stuff, right? It was a righteous, upright nickname, right? Dhul Nurain wasn't player, pimping Lil, or none of those type of names, right? It was Dhul Nurain, the possessor of 2 lights. And Ruqayya, she died on the day of Badr, the first battle, first day in Badr in Ramadan, on the second year of the Hijrah. Kulthum died in Sha'ban, the 9th year of the Hijrah. All right. So that sounds like a good quiz question. When did Ruqayya die? The day of battle of Badr, on the 2nd year in the month of Ramadan. And Kulthum, she died in the month of Sha'ban, the 9th year of Hijrah. So he had 4 daughters, and there's no difference of opinion concerning that. All right. 3 his sons were 3. He had 3 sons. The first to be born to him was Qasim, then Zainab, then Ruqayya, then Kulthum, then Fatima. And it was mentioned that Fatima was she was older than Kulthum. This is stated by Imam Ali Ibn Ahmed and Abu Muhammad. Then in the basically in the Abdullah was born in Mecca, and Ibrahim was born in Medina. Right? So Ibrahim, which was the youngest of the sons, he was born in Medina. And I won't mention all that. We'll just stick to the script. All of his children, except Ibrahim, was from Khadijah. All right. All of his children was from Khadijah, except which one? Which son? Ibrahim. Ibrahim. Don't forget that. Might be play an important role later on. Ibrahim's mother was Maryam, Maryam al-Qibtiyah. So Ibrahim's mother name was Maryam. All of his children passed away before him except Fatima. So all of his children died. All of the children of the Prophet ﷺ died before he died, except Fatima, who passed away 6 months after the Messenger of Allah ﷺ died. His uncles and his aunts. He had 11 uncles. His first uncle name was Harith. He was the oldest son of Abdul Muttalib. Anybody remember what I told you Abdul Muttalib's name was?
That was his grandpa?
Yeah, well, what was his name? Abdul Muttalib wasn't actually his name. That was the nickname given to him. Anybody remember?
Um,
Sheba. Remember his name? His actual name is Sheba. So Abdul Muttalib was Harith was Abdul Muttalib's first son, his oldest son. His next son, his name was Kutham. His third son, I'm sorry, I was saying son. His second uncle was Kutham. His third uncle was Zubair. His fourth uncle, or Zubair, I should say. His fourth uncle was Hamza. Fifth was Al-Abbas. His sixth was Abu Talib. His seventh was Abu Lahab. His eighth was Abdul Kaaba. His ninth was Hajm. His 10th was Darar. And his 11th was Ghaydak. And from amongst these uncles who accepted Islam, it was Hamza and Al-Abbas. Hamza was the youngest amongst his uncles because he was the foster brother to the Prophet ﷺ as well. And remember we talked about wet nurse. How do you become a foster brother to somebody in Islam? How do you be a person's foster brother or sister? It's by what?
You said something about sending the breast milk to the hospital.
And sharing the same. Well, not to the hospital, but yeah, you remember the story. The sharing the same wet nurse, sharing the same breast milk, right? So, really honestly, for instance, my daughter Junaida, she stayed with me one weekend when she was real young. She was still on the bottle. Junaida and Hunayf are close in age. Junaida's actually older than Hunayf by a few months. So Junaida, not only is that Hunayf her biological brother, but is also her brother through milk because they nursed the Hunayf mom nursed her as well, right? Because we didn't do the Similac thing all like that. If we did, it was only a temporary practice, and she stayed with me that weekend. She got nursed. So not only they blood brother and sister, but they also uh, bonded by milk as well. Nah. So anyway, so Hamza was the youngest, and he was the foster brother to the Prophet ﷺ. And Al-Abbas was close to him in age. Abbas is Ibn Abbas's father. That's why his name is Ibn Abbas. Get it? Ibn Abbas. What does Ibn Abbas mean? Son of Abbas. So he was the one who was in charge of distributing the Zamzam water to the pilgrims when they would come to the Kaaba, and inheriting his duty from his father, Abdul Muttalib. and he was 3 years older than the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam also had 6 aunts. First aunt was Safiya radiallahu ta'ala anha. She accepted Islam and she also made the hijrah. She was the mother of Zubair ibn Alawan, and she died in Medina during the rule of Umar ibn Khattab, and she was the sister of Hamza. The second auntie was Atika, and it said that she accepted Islam as well, and she is the one who had the dream about the Battle of Badr, and her story is famous as well. The third one is Bara. The fourth one is Arwa, not Urwa, but Arwa, right? The next one is Umayma, and the sixth auntie. When I'm saying auntie, I'm talking about blood aunts. I ain't talking about the auntie how we use it today, the as a honorific title. My old head auntie, but it also could be disrespectful too. But auntie, right? We're talking about his biological aunts.
Yeah.
Her name was Hakim, and she was known as she was known as Bayda, the white woman. The wives of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The first one was Khadija, then it was Sauda, then it was Aisha, then it was Hafsa, it was Habiba, Salima, Zainab bint Jahsh, Maymuna, Juwairiya, Safiya. We will mention them in respective biographies, because this is from Imam Nawawi's discussion of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He said he married these 9 women, the other 9 women after the death of Khadija radiallahu ta'ala anha. Right? This had nothing to do with pro-monogamy and anti-polygamy. It had nothing to do with it. That is all what we make and put in our minds. Meaning when I'm saying monogamy, meaning when a man is married to one woman, and when we're saying polygyny is when a man is married to multiple wives. Both are permissible. If a man wants to marry one wife, that's his prerogative. If he wants to marry more than one wife, that's his prerogative. If he marries more than 4, that's a sin. That's haram. Right? So therefore, no, you can marry between 1 to 4 wives. He did not marry anyone else during the life of Khadija. Neither did he marry a virgin other than Aisha. She was the only one that was unmarried before. She was the only one that was unmarried. All the rest of them were married before the Prophet sallallahu. So, which also demonstrates it's permissible to marry a virgin woman, and it's also permissible to marry a woman who's been married previously. There's no blame in either case. As for those who he divorced during his lifetime, we have not mentioned them due to great differences concerning them. He had 2 servant girls. One was Maryam, and the other one was Rayhana. Rayhana bint Zayd. And she was bint Shamun. And he later set her free. It has been reported to us that Qatada, who said the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam had married a total of 15 women in his lifetime. He ended up on 13. He combined a total of 11 at one time and passed away, leaving 9 living wives. And let's see. Let me see how long this list is. So we'll save this list for the next section we'll go over will be next week on how many slaves he freed. All right? How many servants he freed of the Messenger of Allah, sallallahu freed them. He purchased them, and then freed them as well. So with that, inshallah, we'll stop there. Subhanaka Allahumma bihamdika wa ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. When you start to stop playing and stop playing with him. You have to teach him how to have mannerisms while taking knowledge. Y'all are older, so therefore y'all have to have a better decorum. Are you paying attention to what I'm saying? All right. So when little kids are present, don't play with them while you learn. It's bad ed because they're watching you, and the only way they're going to take knowledge serious is if you sit. When you got a class clown, the people imitate the class clown and they distract everybody else, right? So you redirect them and you pay attention, especially when you're talking about the Prophet Sallallahu or Hadith or Sharif, any of the Hadith, and when you're dealing with Quran, all right? You have to maintain that. You know, most of the time because I know you guys y'all go to school and things like that, so people be all that stuff, but when it comes to Deen, playing ceases, right? Playing see, even doing that, don't even play with it. Don't move, turn around, you face the teacher. That's why I tell you, backs off the wall, because the backs cause you to be lazy. And when you lazy towards seeking knowledge, your memory's horrible, right? And you 9 times out of 10 you don't practice it. So y'all gotta start showing discipline when learning. All right, understood? You got everything is about building character. Everything is about building character. Character is everything. It's like building your brand. You know how social media influencers say you gotta build your brand? You have to build your character. It's just that you don't seek clout by trying to do it. Right? So they learn from you by watching how you behave and interact with knowledge. Right? And if they truly respect your OGism, respect you as the OG, they'll eventually end up sitting down. Now, most of our kids, all sugared out, ADHD cracked out, like so, if you get 2 minutes from them, you be good. That's good money. That's good money if you get 2 minutes from them, all right? Because these little guys right now, they cool, right? How old are you? You 5 now? 6? Oh man, you supposed to be in class, beloved. You supposed to be in class. So next time class, it's a throw on and you gotta pay attention. No playing with bottles and nothing, all right? Because you can narrate a hadith if you memorize it. You know that, right? That's the youngest age that you take ID. All right. I ain't gonna talk your head off because I'll be done start talking about Imam Bukhari, how he used to be in class, Imam Shafi, how he was a young boy, used to be in class, and memorizing stuff. All right. Bach, chill. All right. So start developing that good character. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك اشهد ان لا اله الا انت واستغفرك واتوب اليك السلام عليكم ورحمه الله وبركاته.
Hey,